But on our end of things here in Philadelphia, we're all eyeing up Ben Simmons. When you watch Ben Simmons in 7 games against the Hawks, and when you've watched him throughout his career, whether or not be consistently or inconsistently, whatever, what do you take away from Ben Simmons? Athlete to athlete, if you're evaluating Ben Simmons, what do you see?
You know what? And to be honest, I got a chance. Like, I watched more Ben Simmons in this series than I've seen of Ben Simmons all season, all for his whole career that he's been a Sixer. But I will say this, and I told you this, Mark. It felt like something was bothering Ben outside of basketball.
Right.
He went from being an aggressor, talking about, oh yeah, I'll guard Trey, I'll be the guy, to wilting away at the worst times that you could actually wilt away as a professional athlete. You wilted away in the playoffs. And it was something where, you know, you could clearly see that something was amiss. So that's what, like, when I think of Ben Simmons, that's what I think of. I'm like, first of all, I'm concerned about his well-being, because that's something that is odd.
Mm-hmm. I mean, no, it certainly is. It certainly is. So aside from that, and I'm not asking you to name names here. If you'd like to, go right ahead. Yeah, but have you ever been around an athlete that was super talented, obviously, but there was something holding them back? And then there was an embarrassing moment, like Ben Simmons obviously not dunking in Game 7 with 2:30 to go, whatever it was. And then he says, you know what, I'm going to go into this offseason, I'm going to work really hard, and I'm going to come back better than ever. Have those people really ever gone over the top at so many years into their career already and said, all right, I'm going to do it, and then they actually do it in the offseason? Or is it just, pouring honey potion in our ear?
It's lip service. I haven't been around anybody who's done that. I haven't. Luckily for me, I've always been around a bunch of stellar quality athletes who believed in working hard. I mean, I guess that's you could attribute that to Big Red, and the guys that he amassed. I don't know what it is, man. And just looking at some of the stuff coming out of Philadelphia, how the Sixers are kind of non-committal. By the way, shout out to Howard Eskin for being Howard Eskin and asking the questions that only Howard Eskin can ask them. Point blank, matter of fact, uncomfortable, make you want to punch Howard in the face kind of question. That for being the dude that he is. But yeah, they're real non-committal. It's hard, man, because the thing of it is this: you're not going to talk about what's bothering Ben Simmons in public, because you don't want to. He might not want to share all that, so you're going to keep it to basketball. But to me, it feels like it's something more. It feels like it's deeper than basketball to me. It just does.
Okay, all right. But bottom line is, when it comes to the act of improving and getting in the gym getting in the jump shots,
I don't see. That's what I'm saying with him. I don't know, because see, this is the thing with Ben. It's tough to say, because there's a pattern of laziness, if you will, if that's the word. If that's the word that I could kind of equate that to, because I know what you're asking me,
right?
But I'm taking Ben Simmons from what I've seen from him in college, and I'm taking this moment, and I feel like in this moment something's going on. But to your point, there has been moments in college where you can point to and say, well, hey, this cat doesn't want to work hard. So that's the tough thing. That's why it's so tough to answer the question.
I got you.
Yeah, because it's like, on one hand, you feel like something's wrong, but damn it, man, you kind of have a history of being an underachiever, a dude with a phenomenal talent, but you don't want to reach the pinnacle of your expertise. You don't want to reach the pinnacle of your talent. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of hard to say.
I want to ask you a couple more things about just sports in general here, and finding that eye of the tiger, as they say in athletes. I mean, you have to know sometimes that you'll look at an athlete and just say, oh, man, this guy doesn't have that fight. Yeah. And I'm hoping that's not Ben, because I've seen him triggered. I've seen him pissed off on the basketball court. I haven't necessarily seen him attack practice tenaciously or anything like that. But if it's the Phillies bullpen, if it's Ben Simmons attacking the rim, whatever it might be throughout sports, Jalen Hurts, he at least seems like he's got some swagger about him in the limited amount we've seen him. But do you know when you would line up against somebody else whether or not that guy had that fight in him or not?
Mostly those were offensive linemen that I tend to, talk trash to, or you just knew that. I wouldn't say they wouldn't have to fight him because obviously they're in the NFL, but you just knew they weren't ready for the fight that I was about to bring to them. You know what I mean? You weren't ready for that because you didn't see it coming. Like I've been around people like that, but on the flip side, I've also been around cats that welcomed all that smoke. So, but yeah. I mean, you see it. It's something that you definitely see in an opponent's eyes when they don't want none of what you bring to the table. None of that.